sometimes employers do neglect to consider all the available opportunities for hiring new employees. And applicants with disabilities often make excellent employees. So in the research that we did, we looked at a technique called a utility analysis. And with this particular methodology, what you do is you look at the entire cost and value added of all your employees using actual data. And any company can do this. And so what we've found is that when you take into account all the costs and all the added value, employees with disabilities are fantastic. They're a great addition to a company. And so often managers will focus too much on accommodation costs or accessibility needs costs. And they fixate on this particular cost and they think it's going to be so expensive, like $10,000 for something. And it's rarely the case. So usually the costs are less than $500 if there is any cost. And if it's something more expensive, it's usually something that many people can use and you amortize it over a long period of time. So the costs of hiring somebody with a disability are actually not so high. They're actually quite low. And the value added of hiring somebody with a disability turned out to be really quite good. So compared to the non-disabled employees in our study, the employees who had disabilities tended to be absent a lot less. They weren't as late. Overall, they tended to be average to above average employees in terms of their performance. And the thing is, they were loyal. They were very loyal. They did not quit or turn over compared to the other employees, and their turnover rates were quite high. Now, interestingly, we conducted this utility analysis in the restaurant industry, and the turnover rate in this industry tends to be quite high. So this is a significant concern for a lot of employers, and they should really be looking to hire more employees with disabilities. This would be a great investment in their business. So a lot of employers think that they have no employees with disabilities who work for them at all. And I'm always really surprised to hear this, because the rate of disabilities just in the general population is really quite high. It's estimated to be between 10 and 20%, depending on how you're measuring that. So odds are most employers already do have quite a few people with disabilities. It's just that if you have a disability, you may decide it's safer to not disclose this to your employer. And usually people have a pretty good reason why they might not. So it could have something to do with their manager or maybe something to do with HR. But that said, I mean, a lot of organizations do have lots of people with disabilities who work for them, and they should really start working out how to support them better in their role. And if they were aware of how many people with disabilities already worked for them, they might be more open to the idea of hiring more. But they often have a very stereotypical view of what a disability is and what somebody with a disability looks like. And so because of that, the idea of hiring somebody with a disability, it doesn't come naturally to them. They think they couldn't possibly do that these people don't exist, they're not qualified, they're not interested in working. And it couldn't be farther from the truth.